pride. It becomes your soul, that sucking itch, that mortal titter, blushing under all the layers of your life. It knows you, that you're not good enough for yourself. And so the Oz contraption, the trick transparency, the only out, to impress yourself on others with yourself. It's done inside with props, with mirror mind pools, two-way sylvan, with a funhouse warp in which to gaze, triumphant, the glory in your eye, presuming all the world is eager for every nuance you contrive. But impressive others won't impress. They're there inside, behind the mirror, peeping out at little you buffooning, seeing nothing of the image of yourself you see, only posturings and mediocrity. You know their eyes. Even you can see that who you are humiliates who you want to be. That in comparisons like these, there's nothing left of you but ironies, but pretensions at self-love, which are self-mockeries. Greed. It's not the having or the hoarding. It's a categorical thing, an abhorrence of less. It's the wanting it all. Wanting it all so much, you cease to care for that part of the all that you already have. And yet, it's the very same thing that you're wanting. And so both in the end are worth nothing at all. The absence is all. Don't settle for anything less. Just ultimates and ultimatums. Like losing your life in a haze of regret for what it is not. Demanding the absolute way it should be. Throwing away the wind, let's say, because it's at home and not at sea. Wasting good days. Depressed. Possessed by the best they could be. Wanting it all. Ignoring the stars you've charted for years simply because they aren't all the rest. Anger. We all know a little bit too much about this. A hard spot in the brain, a fetal core. It feeds upon submission, swells, gets sore, a strangling pressure that has to be appeased. And it is so easy to give in, so helplessly fulfilling. It justifies all superstition. No matter how brief or just to feel it. The bloating of its hard, sharp heat, the burning sweetness is to know the pleasure of an agony that is the opposite of love. A mad opacity, it seals us in, makes us godly to ourselves, permitting us to see only our own reality, to feel no cruelty in our hardness, only violent right. Possessed by the demon of our lives, our hide, a toxic constipation, forcing its release. We sacrifice our lives, let go, enjoy it, the elation of release. Its birth, a poisonous self-titillation in which our being is replaced by its own elimination. And now we go on the upswing. Lust. Victims and idolaters. Vacancies to solve. We pursue such teasing expectations, not to be confused with excess, sex, passions, and desires, but those mock familiar forms, icons that appease us, seeing all we are and must become, completed for a moment in some likeness, some beauty, wanting peace or lie, external, statuesque, but belonging to our lives. Embellishing extinction, cannibals, we specialize in bits and pieces wooed from other lives, savoring deep semblances, charmed carrion, irresistibly dismembered. Monsters, thus assembled, for us the crime is not the wanting, but the harm, injustice, the used result, excluding them and all they are for the worshipped parts we take from them, giving our whole lives away at times for what we think will solve us, make us whole, absolve us, charm us into idols, answers, bits and pieces, lovers, prey for the teasing needs and vacancies of others. Envy. Boas entwined, constricted, rigid in a single egg. Envy and lust are in the same bind. Both make others their ultimate answer. But envy's the one that mangles with laughter. The silliest sin, a total self-trade-in for somebody else, a brain transplant for the good of the taker. Ah, there he goes, the have-it-all hero, the donor you'd have, make you a victim. This host of your wishes. You'd scoop out your life, utterly squander all that you are, to make room for the idol you've made out of his. This is something much worse than a groveling self-annihilation. By wanting to be who you are not, you toy with the tyrant's art, presuming that others are not irreplaceable wholes, exclusively true to their beings, but mere totals of stuff, sums with no soul or order. You render them down to their easiest parts, so all the parts fit all the parts. The last two are way too familiar. He says, hiking up his drawers. Gluttony. Like a thing that we know but won't understand. We feel one day with the edge of our minds a cannibal softness take over the spine, tendriling out like syrupy vines, weaving, caressing, out of control, ravenous comforts, splurged through the bone, claiming the host the spine calls home. And we find one day that we won't say no. The parasite owns us. We do what it does. We indulge luxurious rites and reflexes, growing immense, inescapably soft, excreting a sweetness that covers the globe. And then, to our horror, we know we've become our own host, lured by our own verdant decay. We cannot resist even this, and sink, agape, capsized, euphoric, the sole superfluous link in the chain. And the earth absorbs all that we've been, till all that is left is an interesting stain. And finally, to round off this cheery bunch, is sloth. Sort of mirrors pride, but it's way at the end. Itching, soft, becalmed, asleep like snails, skidding in their shells, postponing our lives until the right time, We go easy on ourselves. Do nothing once again. Say yes over and over again, desperately at ease. Our energy ingrown, self-poisoned. We watch in creamy horror as we bloat and hiss, happy and appalled at the tepid, lulling muck, the tempo of our wills on which we float, as our fate curls up from lack of use. We know what we should do. Do justice to our lives, at least. Compete with chance. Add choice to our sum of history and luck. We know, but we can't. We can't start up. Misers, paralyzed by habit. We arrive at the end too late for our lives. Full up and empty at the same time. The best of ourselves, our only duty. Put off each day, stillborn, without a breath. A gravid nullity, swelling with our time, creating with our lives a death. Thank you very much.